Okay, calm down.
Do you want to talk about this Atlantic piece saying that Israel is not settler colonial? The decolonization narrative is dangerous and false. It does not accurately describe either the foundation of Israel or the tragedy of the Palestinians. It's by Simon Sebag Montefiore.
It's just the most recycled, official Israeli propaganda. But just read, if you don't mind, for your
Sure.
audience, just read the first sentence,
Okay.
the very first sentence.
Peace in the Israel-Palestine conflict had already been difficult to achieve before Hamas's barbarous October 7th attack and Israel's military response. Now it seems almost impossible, but its essence is clearer than ever. Ultimately, a negotiation to establish a safe Israel beside a safe Palestinian state.
Okay, so let's look at that first sentence. Hamas's attack is barbarous. Israel's response is just a military response. The fact that Israel is engaged in broad daylight, in real time, in a genocidal war against the population of Gaza, that's just this anodyne military response. Now, I'd like to just comment on this. First of all, the history vanishes. October 7th, contrary to conventional belief, October 7th wasn't the beginning. October 7th was the climactic act in a long history of the people of Gaza being immured in a concentration camp. It would be as if to say that Nat Turner's rebellion in 1831, that was the beginning. Everything starts at Nat Turner's rebellion, that we just efface the whole history, those 20 years that the people of Gaza, half of whom are children, 70% of whom are refugees, the 20 years that they've been confined in a concentration camp where nobody can go in, nobody can leave, with the rarest of exceptions, where more than approximately half the population suffers from what's called severe, by humanitarian organizations, it's called severe food insecurity, where half the population is unemployed, and among the youth, 60% of the people are unemployed. That whole history vanishes, and I haven't even mentioned the periodic high-tech military assaults on Gaza, which left in the thousands of people dead, hundreds of children killed, infrastructure leveled, homes leveled. Everything vanishes. It's just history begins on October 7th with a barbarous attack and just a anodyne military response. The military response now has left about 10,000 people dead, including 3,000 children. That's not barbarous. The military response, which has systematically and methodically leveled, flattened, pulverized the entire economic infrastructure of Gaza and the residential life of the people of Gaza. I think I read, but the statistics by the time even this airs, they're going to be outdated. But about half of the people's homes in Gaza have been pulverized, reduced to smithereens, smashed to smithereens. That's just a military response. That's not barbarous. Now, let me just give you one example, which many people will find appalling, but to me, it just speaks to the reality of what's happened in that corner, that parcel of land. So let's just take one example. As you know, Israel periodically launches these high-tech massacres by remote control on Gaza. So if you take Operation Cast Lead, which lasted from December 26th, 2008 to January 17th, 2009, what Amnesty International called the 22 days of death and destruction. If you just take that example, Israel killed about 1,300 Gazans, including 350 children. Now, what does Israel describe that as? They call it mowing the lawn. That's the phrase that they coined, mowing the lawn. Now, I don't know yet how many children were reportedly killed on October 7th, but the total number, 1,300, is roughly what happened in Operation Cast Lead. If we go to Operation Protective Edge, which began July 8th and 2014 and lasted until August 26th, 2014, 51 days, about 2,200 people in Gaza were killed, of whom 550 were children. So that's about a little less than double the total number, a little less than double the total number of those killed on October 7th. That was another mowing the lawn. Yes, Israel mowed the lawn a second time. Okay? So imagine the reaction if Hamas said on October 7th, we were just mowing the lawn. Could you imagine the reaction? Can you even conceive the reaction? If very matter-of-factly, they just said, we were mowing the lawn. What the Hamas did is a barbarous act. But what Israel routinely inflicts on Gaza is mowing the lawn. And everybody just smiles at that satanic phrase, mowing the lawn, of which 1 million of the 2,200,000 blades of grass on that lawn, about 1,100,000 are children.